Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam here from Saltarelli Web Studio. This is our second episode for the Tech Frontier, and today my special guest is Surya. And here's the wild part: he's 17, which means he's the same age as me, and he's running an AI automation agency out of Kolkata, India, and with clients all the way across the U.S., Europe, and Australia. He builds agentic AI workflows, basically the same AI systems that I do for my business, and he teaches it all over YouTube and his other social media accounts. So we're both two teenagers on both sides of the planet trying to figure out how we can navigate this AI. So without further ado, Surya, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Adam. What about you? I'm excited to be here and having a good conversation. And like, it's really, really awesome that I'm actually usually I'm the youngest in the group, and having someone of the same age as me is
Yeah,
quite
no, I'm
exciting
doing
as well.
really good, and yeah, definitely jumping right into it. No, it's awesome to meet another young person that's being an entrepreneur my age. So like the first thing I want to know is how did you get into this? What's your story? When did you start, I guess, entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so it's kind of like I guess it's like genetics for me because my family owns their own business. So my father
Hmm.
has a textile business. My uncles, they have their own business. Like wherever I like in my family, most of the
Hmm.
people are business owners. Very few people that I know actually have jobs. Like
Hmm.
everyone kind of does their own thing. So being in that environment, you kind of assume that when you're growing up, you'll either join the family business or do something your own. So, like 2 years ago, I actually was just like a normal student, but then I stumbled upon some YouTube videos and saw this, internet gurus talking about SMMA and how you
Hmm.
could make money with online. And that was the first time I kind of realized that, oh, you could actually make money online, and it doesn't really matter how
Hmm.
what your age is. You could, like, you just need to talk to people and sell them stuff, right, and provide a good service. So that's how I kind of um, realized. And then what I did was I spent a lot of months researching about it. I was on and off with my studies and all. At that time I was like pretty serious with my studies because like I
Hmm.
was just starting out my business. So then like I spent 1 year trying to get clients, failed horribly. Like I spent a few $100 of my mother's money trying to do something. And I tried outreach, didn't really work. I spent some money on softwares, didn't really work. But then like all of those failures kind of taught me, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. So then I tried to continue iterate upon, and then like 18 months ago, I saw some videos about AI automation and stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is pretty interesting. So let's just try making some, I just started making some automations as of curiosity, and I was like, might as well learn something. So then I practiced that. I built
Hmm.
out my whole portfolio. So I did workflows. What I simply did was I watched YouTube videos, then did
Yeah.
the same thing that they were doing for my own thing. So let's say if there was an automation regarding social media, tutorial regarding social media automation, I would just kind of not copy paste the same thing, but just have the same automation and that being set up for me. So I kind of did all of that. I kind of did
Hmm.
scrapings and all, and that's how I got a full portfolio. And then I reached out to people on Skool who were like saying that we are looking for an automation or anyone who can actually do automation. So then because I had a good portfolio, so they were able to actually, like, because of that I was able to get one two clients, and that's when I was like, um, yeah, finally I got a client, and I was like pretty excited, and that's how I began my journey. So then one client turned to another, then another one turned
Hmm.
to many. So that's how I
So I
began.
was hearing that you said it like for your first year and a half of business, it like there was like no results of it. Similar to how I was like for the first year of mine, nothing. Yeah, it was like the first
Yeah,
year and a half.
same.
What were you thinking over like that?
I was negative, so I wasn't even zero. Like I kind of blew some money off my parents'
Yeah.
money. So they were like, like they were happy enough to give me. They said, yeah, it's fine. Like if you, even if you do a couple $100,
Mhm.
that's fine. You'll learn something.
So then,
So, but
when did you
yeah,
start off for the first time? Because when I started off, I was 15. I did like a little bit of copywriting. I went into
same.
doing websites, and then now shifting more into the AI sphere. But like, when did you start off doing stuff on your own online?
Yeah, so I was also 15, and at that time I was just
Hmm.
focusing on SMMA. As at that time, I guess Iman Ghazi and all, they were kind of teaching that, and it was kind of really popular in that phase. So I had no idea what offer is. I had no idea what, you have to have a scalable offer in order to get customers or have testimonials or things like. I just sent people messages thinking that maybe I could set up a call and maybe figure out something they wanted, and then like hire people who could do stuff for me. But that didn't work for me. So then I saw videos regarding edit and automation and automation in general. So then what I thought was, yeah, sure, the first thing that kind of um, like enlightened me was you didn't really need to be a programmer to do automation, because you could just use
Hmm.
drag and drop tools to basically do all of that stuff. So then I was like, okay, yeah, that's nice, because I didn't really know programming, so I was kind of doing that. And that's how like I built my
Yeah.
portfolio, and then I got clients, and then from that I evolved. I started to scale even further. I like pushed harder, and that's how like I started offering AI voice agents, which is now a core part of my service. AI automations, and now like I sell Claude code and
Hmm.
Codex based systems as
So,
well.
what did your parents think about this when you got into it? Seeing that you came from a background of entrepreneurs, and everyone around you, they built up what they were, right? And then seeing you get into it so young, were they supportive of that? I know you said that you went negative in your first year, so they did invest some into you. But like, what were they thinking? I guess.
Yeah. Um. So like my father also like my father started his journey when he
Mm-hmm.
was 14. So he used to do job. Like my like his
Mm-hmm.
uncle owned a shop, so he used to work on that, and he used to earn like, I guess, uh, it was like 40 years ago, but he used to tell me like he would get $5 a month. That was his salary.
It's like a pack of Skittles. Holy.
Yeah, uh, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So that's how he started, and basically
Mhm.
he came from nothing, and that inspired me. And then like he was like, yeah, sure, I mean, as long as like they were like, as long as your study does not get hampered, then you feel
Mhm.
free to do whatever you want. They just wanted to see if I could show them some results. So I was like, okay, I'm going to continue studying, get good marks, because I had always been a good student. Like I used to top my exams, and they were like, you don't really have anything concrete to show us anything, so that's why you need to pursue studies as well. So then like after I got clients, and I started earning some decent amount of money for my age. They said, okay, well, you can kind of start working on this if you want, and just study as like, only if you want to pass, just study that much. And they were like, okay, yeah, sure, now you should just scale this more. They're like
Mhm.
pushing me harder
So
to
you're still
scale
in school
this.
then, right?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah, dude,
final year of
that's
high
so
school.
hilarious. I'm in grade 12 too, right? So I'm finishing off high school now. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
planning to go to post
same.
secondary then or no? Are you planning to go to post
Hmm?
secondary, or you want to like keep working on your AI automation agency?
So, yeah, that's where I'm kind of stuck, because it's like the fact is like, if you're not good at studies and
Hmm.
you've got something like a business, then you're like, okay, sure, let's just do that. And then I'm thinking that like I'm kind of stuck on both, like middle of both, because like I'm like I could study and ace exams if I wanted to, but like the business has been going well, and now I want to double down on scale or this, and I don't really want to waste, like I don't want it to be a wastage of
Yeah,
2 years
yeah.
of my work. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm doing
Yeah,
both,
no, dude.
trying to do both.
Like I really can't convey in any more such or like any crazier way. That is exactly my situation too. Like same thing right now. Like I'm trying to like one, of course, manage school and then athletics, doing the business, all that stuff. So it's like there's already a few things going. Um, yeah, for myself, I'm
Yeah.
leaning more towards trying to do go into post secondary right now, just because I have a lot of good opportunities that set me up there, and I know that with how I'm delegating things
Mm.
right now, like the amount of hours I have to work have like shrunken down to I only have to do the stuff that actually moves the big letters or the big levers. Like I can focus my time on the content, which I love doing right now, doing podcasts and connecting with people, or working with the clients side by side. But other than that, everything else is being delegated thanks to AI and then doing systems. I love the book. I don't know if you read Dan Martell or read anything by Dan Martell or listen to him, but he
No,
yeah.
I do know him, but I kind of don't really have time to read books. Like I have
Yeah.
calculus and
Yeah.
maths
I'm in
problems
I'm
to
in I'm
solve.
in
So
calculus right now
yeah,
too.
exactly.
That is a I mean, I don't know how it is. Yeah,
So, oh, what are you currently doing? Differentiation,
sorry?
integration, or what? Like, are you doing differentiation right now? Like, where are you at
I think
calculus?
we're finishing up. Oh geez, I don't want to talk about school, but I think we're on the last unit right now. We're kind of mixing everything together. So like we're bringing back like from advanced functions like trigonomic identities, and we're tying it
Hmm.
in. So it's just like right now it's just like a ball of stuff going on, but
It's a
yeah.
yeah. It's like physics is really
Yeah,
really
yeah,
tough
no,
as
all
well.
the maths are buggy.
Like, how many times do you go to school
We do probably you guys probably go
a
more than
week?
we do. We do 5 times a week, and yeah,
So you attend 5 days a
yeah. I
week,
have two
every
spares, so
single day,
my school schedule is like a joke. It's only like I only have to go to school for like 3 hours, so
every single day.
that's it.
That's it. Well, I kind of like I go to school just once or twice a week. That's it.
What? Jeez, yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like most of like I don't really have a social life
Yeah,
now, not anymore. So yeah, just focusing.
yeah. Man, it was like it always been like that, or do you guys just don't really have like as much, I guess, days in the week for it?
No, no,
Okay.
it's not like that. Like attendance is pretty important, but what I do is basically like I try to go as little school as possible. So I go only on the
Okay.
days where practical is or any kind of submission that I need to give. Other than that, I have coaching classes, for
Hmm.
university prep. So I kind of go to that regularly, but I don't really go to school much.
Right.
Uh, yeah, and like I just give them a note that saying I'm
Yeah.
sick or something.
They get that one a lot. They see I'm
Yeah,
sick a lot. They're like, man, he's not doing so well. Yeah. So then I guess
yeah.
balancing out, like seeing how your school schedule and the business, it once again, it's another thing I have to juggle. How's it going for you? Like, what percentage
Mm.
of your time, like, can you ballpark say is like school, business? Do they fight a lot? How's that go?
So school is very less for me. I don't really, but studies like I used to neglect that. Now I've started studying.
Yeah.
I've become more serious in that. But the point is, business itself, like since AI agents kind of handle everything for me on the delivery side of the things and all. So the fact is, I
Hmm.
used to work a lot more while earning the same, but now it's like a lot less. Codex and for me now. So now I just focus on content, then like building internal
Hmm.
systems as well as just studying as much as I can.
What's like
So
your
yeah.
favorite thing to do of the things that you, like haven't been delegated to AI yet? So like the content, building systems, working with the clients. Is there like a favorite thing you have? Yeah.
Building systems using AI.
Why is that?
Yeah. I mean, eh, like the fact is like it's so intricate. So like I really enjoy using Codex and all, and how you could build system like such an advanced things, like whatever you want. Like your imagination is the only boundary now, since the
Hmm.
models are pretty much very good. So if you wanted something that let's say example, I want a full on content system, so I could just explain it using my words. Hey, this is what I want, this is what my aim is, and this is what I'm looking for, and then I give it like examples of successful content creators in my space. So it kind of does its own thing and creates that, and then I have to just delegate and review everything. And I've worked so much hours into this that I now know how to prompt it, how to steer the wheel of the system so that it
Mhm.
functions exactly as I wanted. So that's like I enjoy that. So delegating all of those tasks as well. And another thing that I quite enjoy is
Is
sales
which, sorry?
calls.
Oh, sales calls, yeah.
Sales calls.
Do you do a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
outbound like cold calls, or is it a lot of inbound stuff from like website?
It's mostly from
Okay.
school communities right now. I've been scaling on outbound, but like it's not that successful at that point. Like I'm thinking of running ads now, but I'm just learning how to do ads and all of that stuff, and the backend systems with ads as well. Like following up with them and all nurturing sequences. So I'm just learning all of that. And I did run some Instagram outbound campaigns, but those haven't really
Mhm.
been that successful for me.
Quick question: are you using AI for the cold calls, or do you do that yourself and then just kind of track your metrics?
I don't do
Sorry.
cold
Okay, sorry,
calls.
misunderstood. I thought you said cold calls, sales calls. For like your setting calls and stuff. Do
Sales.
you you have like AI integrated into any of that, or like your sales process, or how does that look?
Nah, that's pretty much plain. Like I just go to calls, I have conversation. There is an AI note taker
Hmm.
that pretty much records the meeting and
Hmm.
does note taking stuff. And then yeah, that's it. Like then based on how we end the call and what the next steps are, and I either reach out to the client on the message and keep following up with them to make sure that everything is fine.
Cool.
That's how it goes. As
Cool.
simple as that.
I want to go back for a minute because I remember you were talking about Codex, and you mentioned a little bit about Claude. For myself, I'm pretty Claude biased. I've been just used to how they use their software. I've gone or went through some of the Claude resources, so I'm a little more familiar with Claude. Do you use both Claude, seeing that they're some of the biggest LLM models out there? Um, do you like prefer Claude or Codex, or do you use both? How do you base that?
Yeah, so for a long time I was a
Hmm.
Anthropic fan as well. Like I hated OpenAI models, and then GPT 5.4 and 5.5 came, the latest OpenAI models,
Yes.
which are actually really good. And Anthropic's cloud code usage was
Yeah.
just like absurd. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't really do. Yeah, not sure if I'm allowed to
Mhm.
curse here, so that's why. Yeah, but basically like you had so much less work that you could do for, like if I'm paying Codex and Cloud Code, the amount of like usage I'm getting per buck that I'm paying is high on Codex, and the fact is mm, Codex model is really good at engineering tasks. So the things like building coding like doing coding, building like backend systems, any kind of backend automation stuff, whatever you think kind of think of engineering in that perspective, Codex is just a lot better. Even a new benchmark came called DSWA, which states it's an independent benchmark company, so they're putting their own money and then trying to test the models out to make sure that which are good and all. And they reviewed both Opus 4.7 and GPT 5.5, and they saw that GPT 5.5 does more work with less cost, and it is much better at performance wise. So up until I would say 2 months ago, I was an Anthropic fan, but now I'm a Codex fan. But I would still recommend people using both if they can. So if your budget allows, I would highly recommend using both Codex and Claude Code. You get the best of both. So it's not really either Claude or either Codex. It's kind
Hmm.
of it's both.
And so Opus 4, Anthropic recently released Opus 4.8, and I've heard that it's surpassed in some of the
Hmm.
benchmarks. Not that some people care about benchmarks, but I don't know if you've looked at that at all. Do you still ever plan to come back to Anthropic, or you kind of focus, or just kind of like seeing where the media leads you right now, seeing like, oh, I like this one, but I've heard some new changes, so I'll migrate over here. How do you differ that?
Yes. I'm not. I don't have a favorite. the one that is the best and the cheapest, I just go to that. So if you would say there's a Chinese model that's now better than OpenAI and Claude, I would just migrate to that. So I'm no one's like I do not really care about companies. I just care about which is the best intelligence that I could get at the cheapest possible rate, right? So the fact is, if Claude makes a
Mhm.
comeback, I'll switch to Claude because that's what I did. I feel like I used to use Claude before, and the fact is, Opus 4.8 is a good model. It's but the where it lacks is basically it's like a token hungry model. So if you wanted to do same work with Codex 5.5 and Opus, the cost would like Opus 4.8
Yeah.
would be a lot higher. And I've also seen people, in like they say that Claude Opus 4.8 sponsor 100 sub agents and then burns their weekly limit in like a day, and they are
Yeah.
at max plan,
Yeah.
$200 plan. So yeah, so that doesn't really sound like you wouldn't really wanna like what would you do with that? So the point is 4.8 is good at multitasking, and if you don't have a streamlined architecture. So what I mean is, if you want your LLM or your model to follow strict instructions that you have had with it. So if you want, hey, this is how my development process is exactly, you need to follow this. I do not really care about anything else. Then I would say use GPT 5.5. They're pretty streamlined in that. But if you have less idea and you want it to be go crazy kind of thing, then Opus 4.8 kind of does that, and it kind of thinks out of the box sometimes, and you kind of have nice ideas. But yeah, it's just like it
Hmm.
will cost you more
So
as well,
one of the go ahead.
and it will have. I was saying it will have less reliance as well. It's less
Right.
deterministic in that way.
One of the biggest things, I hope you can answer this question, that I'm hesitant about is switching between them, is I'm a little scared of losing content. Like because I know that I don't know if it's the same, but I know that Claude has a bunch of markdowns and has this memory MD files or whatever, and that's how it knows like my profile, my preferences, etc. Is chat or the Codex able to access that so it has like the same data? It is.
Yeah, so I want to ask a follow-up question, which is you're using Cloud
Yeah,
Code
Claude Code.
locally,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, so no, locally, like in your own computer, and all of the files
yeah,
are
yeah.
saved
They're
locally,
saved there. Yeah,
and you must maintain context files, right? .md files that you have that
yeah.
it has access to, right? So then switching to Codex is as simple as 2 clicks. What you do is basically uh, you download
Mhm.
the Codex application, and then you click on start with an existing project. And what it's going to do is it will see that
Mhm.
you have a .cloud folder, and it will say it will ask you like, I see that you have a .cloud folder, like we could use that to create .agents and .codex. So these are two folders that Codex uses in order that does basically the same thing that
Mhm.
Cloud folder does. So what I mean is Cloud is basically a folder that Cloud Code follows. It has all of the skills, all of the hooks, and all of the settings. The same thing Codex has is
Yeah.
.agents. It contains all of your skills, and .codex folder which contains all of your settings and hooks. So it will automatically create that, and you will be good to go. And since you already have context files manually, stored locally, so then Codex will have system instructions
Mhm.
from the Claude.md. It will also create an agents.md, same thing, and using that instruction it will have access to whatever workspace you have set up, and it will follow that exactly. And like once you do a bit of testing with it, try to executing it, and it's like try to fix it, because it may not be perfect for you then right away, so you may
Mhm.
need to tweak it a little bit, but then after that it will work exactly as
Gotcha.
dot
Yeah,
code
that's
does.
been, I guess hurdle is it gonna save my stuff? A little while ago, I made a video on YouTube about remaking Minecraft because I saw someone do it online. I'm like, that'd be pretty crazy if you could do that. I 5 minutes later I had
Yeah.
my own Minecraft. I was playing around with it. I'm like, this is crazy. And I thought Claude couldn't do that too. Claude was able to do it, but I just tried it first with Codex and I was like, that's crazy. So That thank you very much for that. I'm hopefully anyone that's watching this is also going to get value out of that because I was hesitant to switch, but maybe I'll play around with Codex more because of that. Um, Another thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have any other like the coding uses beside? Because there's so many other things you can do with these AIs. Like for example, Gemini, you can make like songs. ChatGPT, I've been using it a lot to like do a bunch of images for mock-ups for like races, personal posts, just everything. It's so good at that. Um, do you have any like uses like coding aside that you use AIs for daily?
Yeah, so like I have a thumbnail skill inside Codex. Like Codex generates images natively. So if you ask Codex, hey, generate me an image, it will use the latest GPT-2 image model, which is
Mhm.
the best in class right now. It uses that to create images. So I've been using that to create thumbnails for my YouTube videos, and like I'm looking into AI for ad creation, so UGC kind of ads, and I've been experimenting a little bit with VO3, CDANS 2.0,
Mhm.
and trying to create something for
Yeah.
ads. Yeah, so mostly like I would say 90% of my use case is just um, like building automations and
Mhm.
building agents for my clients.
Yeah, that's probably where I spend most of my time too. Just 'cause it's so cool. It's like you were saying before, like you can just like think of anything and then make it into a system. So that's like one of the coolest things I've ever had, to experience with AI. I've heard online that you had some pretty big projects on LinkedIn. You built out like this. I believe it. I'll pull it up here. Is this full system? I'll just go ahead and ask you, what has been like your favorite project you've used these AIs for? How have you helped somebody?
Um, yeah, sure. So, I've done a lot of stuff. So just let me just thinking what could be the best. So, like the recent project that I did was like I'm doing this with a taxi company in Scotland, and we have built
Mhm.
a voice agent for them, and it is handling 2000 calls for them every single day. So like our goal with that company is to basically in the next 2 months have a 50% automation rate. So like 50% of all of the booking of the taxis and everything is
Whoa.
done by AI.
How did you get into talking
Yeah.
with that business? Was that like, like a local
Yes,
friend?
yeah, that's the crazy thing. So, no. I don't really know. It's not like a warm
Mhm.
outreach. What happened was that owner was asking people in Skool, hey, I'm looking to build a voice agent. Please DM me. He was like telling it to all of the people, like people in the group, and I was like, hey, let's just reach out. And what I did was, I reached out to him. He sent me a PDF. He had already outlined what he wanted, and what I did next was I built him a demo, and I showed it to him, and that kind of sealed the deal for me.
Whoa. Yeah. So wait, you're in school. Was it like a
Yeah.
teacher, like a principal? You just how did that happen?
Yeah, so school, I
Oh,
mean
like
school group.
online, not like in okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Imagine
online school.
a teacher walking in class,
Uh,
guys. I need you to build me this. I mean, what? Yeah.
no, I was asking
Got
school
yeah,
community.
the
Yeah, that one.
SKOOL. Gotcha. That's so cool. Wow. And when was
SKO.
this? Was this like a few months ago?
So I started working with that company 6 months
Mhm.
ago. I'm still working with them. And I also worked with a solar company in the US for quite a while and built them like basically a chatbot that would for the sales managers. So what would happen is in solar you generally have like once a deal is done there is a lot of stuff, so you need to see if solar can be
Mhm.
implemented or not, if there's a tree that is being that is getting in um, like in obstruction, and then like there
Yeah.
is all of this process, so what happens is sales managers and then there's project managers, so they basically they have notes and stuff like that. So what happens is they have to go manually through the CRM, and then they have to see what was the last thing that we talked about for this person, since like there's
Yeah.
hundreds of deals, right? So then what I did was basically a chatbot that had like if they would just say, hey, for this customer name, what was the like give me all of the contract details or any all of the sales detail, and what was the um, sales manager's email, or what was the last thing that we talked about with them. So it would just give them all of the
Yeah.
information, and they didn't really have to go to the CRM looking at that. They could just pick up their mobile phone and they could message it and it would
Yeah, that's
answer it.
actually super funny because I've been doing the same thing for myself. So, basically, I call it like my Notion or my Claude second brain. I was on Instagram one day and I saw this video of this guy. He was going around talking about how he had this like, um, basically every single time he talked to Claude, it would write him a bunch of like Notion pages, whatever, just whatever you're using to store your information, and he would have like this massive library of everything he's ever thought, ideas he's had, etc. It just stored somewhere online, and it sounds a lot like what you're talking about. And I've used the same system for myself. So I took that video online, and I just took the transcript of it, and then I put it in the Claude, and I was like, "This is super cool. How do I have it help me plan my day? Or if I have questions about, okay, who do I need to follow up with? What do I need to do today that I've said I wanted to do for a while now? Like, help me orchestrate this." And I have it do that for me. I'm actually going to make a YouTube video on that. So if anybody's watching and wants to know, I'm sure either Surya or me will make a video on it. But I basically call it like my Claude second brain, and it just plans my day out. Um, I have an MCP connected with Granola just because Granola is so convenient. I can just tap it on my phone and just have it start like taking my thoughts in. And then at the end of the day, when I want to go plan out my week, my day, my month, my year, it knows everything I've already said to it because it's already connected to Claude, and goes ahead and does it for me. It sounds very similar to what you've done. I don't know. Do you have like the same system, I guess, for yourself in any way or no?
You kind of paused there. What
No,
was
yeah,
the
sorry.
last
I
thing that
think
you said?
I was cutting out there a little bit. No, like, do you, I guess, use AI to help you kind of like plan out your day or like log ideas as well, or no?
Not really. I mean, I could, but then like the thing is, I would have to build a second brain system for that
Hmm.
to work effectively, and I'm like a bit lazy
Yeah.
on that. So like I'm thinking that it will take me a couple of hours, and I'm like, what it like right now my time is better suited at creating content, like trying to reach out more people and things like that. So I haven't really created a personal assistant kind of system for me that has all of
Hmm.
my ideas, but I should. Um, Maybe one of these days I
Yeah,
will when I
for
get
sure.
some time.
So then,
Yeah. Yeah. But like the point is like Codex has all of my project details. So what I'm working on the work side of the things, it has all of that knowledge. So on that kind of
mhm,
on that way
yeah,
I'm
for
set.
sure. So then, I guess like what's like the plan to keep like growing your business? Like, what do you kind of see going on in like the next like year from now, especially as you're leaving high school? What do you have on the horizon or the back burner?
Yeah. So the goal is to basically hit 10K per month. That's
Hmm.
what I have been trying to achieve. And right now, like, is there's still a lot of work to do. Like, I think the like marketing side of the things, like the next this month, I'm thinking of going all in on ads and making sure everything is good. And we have a couple of leads set up, and like I have a few prospects that I'm currently following up with to make sure that those
Hmm.
deals are being made. Uh, the sales cycle in this uh, industry can be sometimes long, so it could take 2 months or 3 months trying to convince someone and making sure everything's fine. And then once you have it, then you can have a lot of like you can have multiple like work, and you could earn more money. So that's the thing. It takes a bit of time to get momentum at this stuff, but um, right now two things in my mind: get like content and
Hmm.
ads.
Are you doing like posts for like long form on social media and then also like short form? Or are you kind of taking those long form? Because that's what I like to do is I take my long form and then cut up into a bunch of short forms. Is that how you kind of go about it?
I just have long form right now.
Hmm.
I don't really do short form, primarily because I'm not
Hmm.
really that active on Instagram. And there's something that I've realized. If you see a lot of people, they do say that, uh, like, the reason why YouTube is a gold mine for inbound leads is because if they watch you for 30 minutes, they've already kind of
Hmm.
had some trust, right? So if they wanted to gain the same trust in Instagram, they would have to watch
Or
at
yeah.
least 30 reels. Yeah, if one reel is 1 minute, so that, like, nobody really watches 30 reels, right? So that's why I'm thinking of YouTube
Hmm.
as the core pillar, as something on the side as well, like converting YouTube videos into LinkedIn. That's something that I want to do as well. So like, right now, that's like this week's goal is to create a LinkedIn system as well that repurposes this content on from YouTube and then creates a
Gotcha.
post.
That's pretty cool. Um, So, what say for example, AI starts, or actually, is there anything that worries you about AI right now with the future? I mean, I know it's like doomerism. Everybody's got that little thing in the back of their mind, but is there anything that worries
Yeah.
you about that, especially with how they talk about, they're putting out more massive data centers, or it's like, oh, Anthropic within one patch is like, yeah, guys, all those white collar workers done. So,
So in the long term, my view is simple. I think I don't know if AI could do my job. Like, it kind of does already everything. I
yeah.
just have to tell it to do it. So in 5, 10 years from now, if people knew everything, then what would happen? That is something that does come across my mind. But then I'm like, sure, AI can do my job, but like the fact is, I have practical experience, which
Mhm.
AI will never be able to have consciousness. So if AI starts to have consciousness, then I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the end of the world,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, what you could do. So yeah, but on that file, like, the goal is simple. Once I have my agency running and I've got consistent money and things like that, the next would be building a manufacturing factory. So since my father is already he
Mhm.
has a textile business, so I was thinking of maybe doing something on that sense. I would have a manufacturing business that my father would basically uh, he would operate, and we would produce goods, and like basically I would invest capital and he would do all of the stuff, and then I would get to learn from him. So now what happens is basically I have my own agency. um, I'm earning money from that, and that's the online space, and then I have the manufacturing space, which AI is the least capable of trying
Mhm.
to do replace, because you
Yeah.
can't really replace factories, right? And then the third thing in my mind is, after I have um, achieves my goals in my agency, and while my father is like, I'm handling manufacturing there, I would like to start a software company as well. So I would have generally three streams of revenue, and like that's as much
Mhm.
diversify as you can do, right? That's the goal in long term. So if you ask me 10, 15 years from now, that's the
Yeah.
goal for long
And
term.
it's funny because it's like exactly the same thing I'm thinking of, where it's like I want to build up what I'm doing right now, just like you're saying, because there's a lot of opportunity, and then we know in the future, of course, more people are going to understand this stuff, and it's not going to be as niche, and it's only going to get
Yeah.
easier to use anyways. So, I think right now, how I look at it, similar to how you were saying, is I think it's kind of like a gold rush opportunity right now, where it's like there's so much opportunity to do a bunch of stuff, and it's like
Exactly.
we know this is not going to last forever, but we do know that there's so much capability right now to help so many people, to set ourselves up for a good future. So when it's here right now, we can get ourselves on that next step where it's like, okay, even if all the stuff below us is crumbling, we have the ability to pivot. If I want to go into or like a manufacturing space, if I want to focus on investments, it's like once you have like capital, you can kind of play the game a little bit. But if I
Yeah,
have
exactly.
zero base
Yeah.
and I'm standing on the ground still, then I'm in a bad spot. So right now, like exactly the same thing, like just building myself up to a position where I have options and I can pivot, because you can't pivot when you.
And the most important thing is, like you will make connections, and you
Mhm.
will meet important people, and like there'll be a new opportunity which may
Mhm.
not be AI, something else, right? So now they have already, like, you have already sold to them, they already trust you, that's why they have bought from you. So if you wanted to sell them again something that could help them, it would be much easier, right? And the fact is, like, you will have connections, like that's the thing. It's like what you know and then who you know, those are the
Yeah.
two most
And
important things.
um, with those connections, like you're saying, one, you'll have people that you already know, who are skilled, who like you, who you've helped. And also, if you've built up like a successful business and it does go down, you'll still know how to build up to a successful business. So it's like if you've done the format once, it's like it's not hard to repeat it in any other niche. So yeah, and then having those people around you, just growing your network. So I guess like the smartest move would just be, just to keep going with it, keep growing it, because it's the experience and the knowledge that's never going to go away, and that can be repeated in any field, which puts you up for the
Yeah,
best position anyway. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I like gold rush opportunity analogy. That's how I think of it. It's like when the gold rush was happening in Alberta or wherever it was happening. People weren't going, man, I'll do this for the rest of my life. They're going, this is hot right now. We need to get on it. So that's how I like to look at it. Um,
Yeah, and there's things like when everybody's at gold rush, you should shells shovels, you'll
and what,
make more
sorry?
money. I would say, I was saying that there's a saying that when everything, like when everyone thinks it's a gold rush, start selling them shovels and you'll make
Yeah,
even more
exactly. Just
money.
taking advantage of what's
Yeah, exactly.
going on around you, right? So
Mm, yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is, like, the fact is AI is like, if I think of my country India and I try to pitch to business owners here, the fact is, even if they are doing multi-million dollars a year, they don't really care about AI. All they do is basically they use phone calls and they make deals, and they'll say like, hey, yeah, what's the order, and it will be like 10 million, and it's like, okay, fine, done. So that's the thing with uh, businesses here. They don't really have technology. They're like, I know people who, like, have multi-million dollars of business annual revenue and they don't have a website, they don't really have a CRM, they just have accounting spreadsheets, and just like, people just call them and they
Mhm.
book orders, that's it. So the fact is, like, it doesn't really matter if AI can help you or not. It just, like, in this environment it doesn't really help a lot to
Yeah.
local businesses.
Wait, so then um, you're saying that like for some businesses, like for example, like where you are in like Kolkata right now, they're not going to get affected with AI as much. So
Yeah, like, it's more on, like, the thing is, labor here is pretty cheap. So the fact is, AI kind of costs more than the labor, so that's why you'll
mm,
probably use labor in here. But in countries like US, where labor is short, like the supply of labor is very short, you'll have AI taking the job. But the point is here, business owners don't really fear AI. It's more like people, who are graduating from college, who are getting white collar degree, that are more being fearful of. They fear AI more because, like, it's the starting jobs that are kind of getting
mhm,
eliminated, and
gotcha.
for them. So yeah.
So seeing that you're on the path of entrepreneurship right now and you want to keep going like headfirst into this, um, would you ever consider like going to having a job, or you like dead set on you're like, this is what I want to do, I want to be in entrepreneurship, especially being surrounded by all those entrepreneurs around you? Would you ever find yourself settling into a job, or do you think entrepreneurship is really your calling?
Um, I wouldn't really
Mhm,
settle permanently into a job, but the fact is, it really depends. Like, let's say if I'm in a company and I'm on a role, but like I don't really want to
mhm,
be on a corporate company. I would rather be at a startup, where you could learn some things that you wouldn't really learn anywhere else. So on a perspective of that, then only I'll have a job. And the fact is, if I'm earning good enough money with my business, then what's the point of
mhm.
a job? I don't really need that, and I would prefer to have something of my own than
Yeah,
working
you
for
keep working
somebody.
on your own stuff so that you have more control, availability of your
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. So
Yeah.
then
And there's a cap that of how much you could make with
mhm,
a job, right? But with business there is no
yeah, yeah.
capex.
So I guess, do you know any other young entrepreneurships like in your space right now? Is there anything maybe you're worried about because you're younger? And is there any hardships you've run into that you think maybe if you're being older would be easier, or?
Nah, age-wise, I haven't really felt like the only thing I would say is like if you're good ambitious, if you're a good student, if you're an ambitious guy, then you're kind of stuck at like should I continue my studies or should I start working? Should I just work on the business? You're kind of stuck on that. So you're on two boats basically. You don't really have
Mm-hmm.
made a choice. So I would recommend anyone starting a business either you start just after entering college. That's the golden period because then like you'll have 4 years of your life that you could pour your blood
Mm-hmm.
and sweat and you could do something. Uh, but starting in the middle, it's like it's a lot more pressure than a lot of
Yeah.
people can handle.
So if there's anything then you would want to say to Surya 2 years ago when you're 15 years old, um, what would you say to yourself then to maybe put yourself in a better position than you are now? Unless you're really happy with where you are now, um, what would you say to your past self?
Uh, should I would say should have
Even
started
more
even more
earlier.
earlier.
What age? 5?
Yeah, so I would say no, no, not five. The thing is, like I got to know, like I started earning when I actually had a knowledge of the market and how this works, right? So that took me like 1 2 years. And the fact is, if I could have, in my ninth grade, if I could have started and worked on that, and within 10th like within 10th grade, I would have started earning what I'm earning now. I would have gotten all in. Um, and with I would have 2 years left, 11 and 12. So both those years I could have pour more money and more time in there. And once you have more stable business where you could like hire employees and stuff like
Hmm.
and save your time, right? So then what I would do is basically I would just cap my spending of time of 6 hours to the business, and the rest I would just study for prep for college. And once I enter into a good college, it would be just back to business. So once you have that stability reached, and that's like this is basically like a perfect scenario which doesn't really exist. So like you
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do.
And so then I guess to closing in on like the last question here, just because we're gonna end off soon. To anyone that is young, maybe younger than you, a little bit older, kind of just around like the teenager age, getting into the space of AI. Um, yeah, do you have any advice for them? If I wanted to start my own agency, what would you say?
I would say communication and sales is the most important. You need to be able to communicate and talk really, really confidently. So it doesn't really matter if you know your work, but the fact is if you're confident enough to show it. Because when I started, like I used to sweat so much during sales calls, as like
Yeah.
every new guy comes, right? So with repetition, you kind of understand, you kind of speak much better and much confidently. So I would just suggest let's start making YouTube videos even if you don't have no client, or maybe just don't upload them if you are too like cautious about your sales image or things like that. Just upload them, like just record them, listen to them. You'll understand. Okay, this is how I'm speaking. How I could speak much better. Once you're good at communication and sales, then you could basically um, once you have a little bit more knowledge of AI, you could get into some communities, you could join communities, you could learn people, you would learn stuff from people, and then
Mhm.
build connections. I would say that's the most important thing. And then while you're building connections and while you're gaining more knowledge on the side, try to do some outbound stuff as well. If you find some clients, or just do warm outreach as well to people who you think could benefit from the service. And that's how you will get a couple of clients. So if you have 1 2 clients and you have got a few $1,000 in your pocket, you have a bit of room to play around with. So if you wanted to run ads, you could run ads. If you wanted to spend on
Mhm.
email marketing, you could do that. So then you'll have a lot more options to play
Awesome.
with.
Yeah. So, before we end off the episode, I'll cut this cut part out here. Um, um,
Oh,
yeah, but I just want no, no, you're good.
yeah.
I just want to say yeah, thanks, dude, for coming on the show. I'll do an actual like a ending like in a second here. But yeah, no, thanks, dude, for all the insight. I'll definitely be checking out that Claude and like the Codex transition thing. I didn't think that I should. I thought I was gonna lose information, so I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should do that. So no, I appreciate that clarity.
Nah, nah, you're
Yeah,
fine.
no, like just thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate you sharing your story, dude. Sounds like you got a lot of good things going. So I was really happy to hear from you. You gave me some useful tips. Hopefully the people that watch it also get some information out of it. But yeah, I don't know if you ever need anything or you want to come back for an episode two, we could maybe get that on, but maybe in a few months, see where everything's at, right, in the summer. Other
Yeah,
than that,
yeah,
dude, thanks.
definitely.
I'll segue into the exit here, but do you have any questions for me or no?
No, I just like I really had such a good time, and I was just going to say that let's
Mhm.
stay connected and like let's keep each other updated and things about our life and see how we go from there. I mean, you should be more active on the
Yeah,
community
I have
calls that
not
we
been
have
there
on
that
my
very much. Yeah,
yeah, you should at least like I would say just join one call
yeah,
per
I
week.
probably
That
could
would
make
be
that. Yeah,
fine.
yeah. No, because I remember seeing you a while
Yeah,
ago on the one call. We were talking about sub agents, and I was just like, yeah, I was in the wind there.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely come back to those.
Yeah, you just learn so much stuff, like everyone has their own insights. Like Rashim was there once and he was saying about enterprise AI and how he sold one
Mhm.
deal for 35K, sorry, 65K. Yeah, that was the amount. And he was like, he just gave a 4 hour pitch deck to an automobile company and he like
Yeah,
got
that's
a contract. So like it's
crazy.
like kind of insane. And like the thing is, the more you like start to see yourself with people around, you kind of get more motivated. So you're like saying, if he can get 65K, I should at least get 6.5K, right? I should make a deal that's like $7,000. Like you start to feel that
Mhm.
I should do more. Like you get motivated. So that's like
Yeah,
a
I'll definitely
good
check that
thing.
out. But yeah, I'll go into the exit now. But once again, yeah, thanks, Surya, so much. All right, I'll roll into the exit. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Tech Frontier today. Thank you very much, Surya, for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Hopefully, the viewers got some education and some knowledge out of this. And if anyone is a business owner looking to work together, I have a free discovery call link in the description or also on my website, saltarelliwebstudio.ca, where you can book a chat with me and I can help audit your guys' system to see where we can improve, where we can add in some optimization and save you some time overall. And if you have any other questions, of course, you can reach out to me at my contact points in the description. And other than that, this has been episode 2, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Yeah, yeah. So that is the show.